Okay, have a seat and we'll get at it again. Here you can see that brass thread up on the left there where the gas valve goes. Couldn't get it out because you need like a notched pipe to unscrew it. So you see a little better here. I put a few drops of the Mac 1 secret sauce here. It's a valve and pivot oil. Really good stuff. I don't know what's in it, but it's great. Around that valve stem and worked it. It's nice and loose and the spring's still tight. Firm, you know. And I'm pointing at the hole here where I dripped it in. So I dripped it on the shaft and then from the end and all that. So two different directions. And some of it leaked out. But at least I know I got plenty of oil in there and worked it back and forth with this old broken 22 cleaning rod here. Old hoppies too. Let's see. Anyway, I worked it back and forth and it's working good. And here is the bushing with the hole in it for the valve stem. That one of the couple of screws goes in from underneath. At least this one's easier to get in and out than the Crossman. And here you can see it pushed into place in that second hole from the left there. And you can see the hammer piston there where another bolt, the stepped bolt goes through. We'll get to that later. But you can see the hammer piston, hammer spring, and the cocking piston with the tang on it and power adjuster. And here's, you have to push that tang in to line that screw hole up to get that screw in the back right in front of the tang there. You have to hold it all together to do that. So just like the Crossman, it's got its quirks, trying to get all that stuff lined up again. And here is a big fat set screw that goes in a notch in the bolt slide. You can see the hole the bolt actually goes in towards the back of the slide there. Oh, and here you can see, get a clearer look at the properly positioned bolt hole. And you can see the dimple in the end of the bolt here that the set screw goes in, which we'll get to in a second. So you stick it in the bolt hole and turn it around so you can look through the hole in the end of the bolt slide to see that dimple, and then you put the set screw in from the rear, as it were. And that's the power adjuster on the right. And here we see how you get the Allen wrench in there to tighten the bolt hold down set screw. So some things remain constant. And here I went back so you can see the notch that has to be facing the other way, facing down, for this stepped bolt that goes in where I'm pointing here. Very important. The bolt will not work if you don't get that slot in the bolt slide lined up just right with that thing. This is the bottom of the action receiver. And here we go. Got the barrel pushed back into place and leveled out where you see that little tip on the bolt there. And here we go, putting the set screws back in that hold the barrel in place and level there. You can see where it's notched out. And set screw number 2 and set screw number 3. Set screws 2 and 3 are 2 millimeter, and the bigger one in the back is 2.5, as mentioned in the previous video. And here, that little screw in the safety switch there is the only screw I took out that I didn't need to. So I put that back in first before I went and did anything else. Moving on. And here you can see the barreled action is all back in one piece again. I cleaned some things up, wiped things down, lube and stuff like that. And here you can see the notch in the stock where the barrel band goes. So you do have to slide that thing back and forth a little to get it lined up where you can physically push it in there. It fits firmly. It's a good thing, I guess. And here's that blue Loctited screw I showed you in the previous video. That's the 4-stock screw. Got that back in. And that square bolt tab with the bolt hole in it goes for that front screw. And here you can see the rear screw in that little tab that goes in. You have to leave them a little loose to be able to push this trigger guard forward to get this plastic piece in the back and then put the screw in and tighten it down. That goes into the rear tang hole, screw hole. And this is a little screw that was actually doing most of the rattling inside the stock with that little shard on the left there. I made sure, I looked, and it doesn't fit anything in the rifle. I don't know why that's in there. It doesn't even have any wear marks on it. So I bagged it up with the old gas tube cap here that'll go back to Joe. And here it is back together again. Just got to wait till next week to get the replacement gas tube cap from Archer. So, good Lord willing, the creeks don't rise. We'll see you next time and do some testing on this thing.